The world of K-drama has always blurred the line between fantasy and reality, and sometimes life itself feels like the most unexpected plot twist. That is exactly what happened when Song Hye-Kyo, one of South Korea's most iconic actresses, stunned fans with the shocking announcement of her pregnancy. Known for her elegance and remarkable ability to keep her private life guarded, Hye-Kyo's revelation instantly sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. Yet what truly ignited a storm of emotion was not only her news, but the heartfelt reaction of her former husband, Song Joong-Ki, whose emotional confession has now become one of the most talked-about moments in K-entertainment history. When Hye-Kyo made her announcement, fans were torn between celebration and curiosity. The actress, admired across Asia and beyond for her timeless performances, had rarely spoken openly about her personal affairs. But in sharing the news of her pregnancy, she allowed the world into one of the most intimate and vulnerable moments of her life. Questions immediately filled the air. Who was the father? How long had she known, and why now? Yet through the noise, one truth remained clear. This was a moment of profound joy for a woman who had always carried herself with grace. But if the announcement itself shook the internet, what followed nearly broke it. At a press event for his latest film, Joong-Ki was asked the question millions were waiting to hear answered. What were his thoughts about Hye-Kyo's pregnancy? The room grew tense, reporters leaned in, and the world seemed to hold its breath. Joong-Ki paused, smiled faintly, and then spoke with a trembling voice. I heard the news like everyone else, and I was deeply moved. Hye-Kyo has always been someone I respected, admired, and cherished. Knowing she's entering such a beautiful stage in her life brought out emotions I cannot easily describe. It reminded me of the times we shared, the dreams we once talked about, and the bond that never really disappears. If I'm honest, part of me feels like I'm reliving memories that shaped who I am today. His words were not the rehearsed statements of a celebrity trained to dodge emotion. They were raw, honest, and filled with the kind of vulnerability fans had not seen from him since the days of their whirlwind romance. Almost instantly, clips of his interview flooded social media. Within hours, hashtags like #Song Joong-Ki confession and #Song Hye-Kyo pregnancy were trending worldwide. Fans from Seoul to New York to Manila wrote messages about how their hearts ached with both joy and nostalgia. But it was the second half of his confession that left fans reeling. When asked if he had anything to say directly to Hye-Kyo, Joong-Ki's eyes softened, and his voice broke with sincerity. If she ever hears this, I just want her to know that she deserves all the happiness in the world. Becoming a mother is a blessing, and even though our paths diverged, a part of me will always wish her the joy and love we once imagined. Sometimes life doesn't go as planned, but love remains in ways we cannot always explain. The hall fell silent, and even hardened reporters admitted to tearing up. Fans watching the broadcast from home clutched their chests, many crying openly. In that moment, Joong-Ki wasn't just an actor or a star, he was a man bearing his soul in front of the world. The confession spread like wildfire. Twitter threads filled with emotional fan edits resurfaced old clips of the two in Descendants of the Sun, their iconic wedding photos from 2017, and moments from interviews when they once spoke about love and family. The juxtaposition of their past with Joong-Ki'S heartfelt words in the present created a wave of nostalgia so powerful that fans began trending the phrase, "Some loves never die." YouTube was flooded with compilations, some set to emotional ballads, others splicing together Joong-Ki's confession with Hye-Kyo's glowing images from her latest public appearances. The entertainment industry itself reacted with awe. Veteran directors and fellow actors admitted that they too were moved by the sheer honesty of his words. One industry insider remarked, "They were the golden couple of Korean romance." Hearing Joong-Ki speak like that reminded us of why fans across the world believed in their love story. Even media outlets that usually focused on gossip had no choice but to frame his reaction as one of the most genuine and touching moments of the year. Of course, speculation quickly followed. Was this just a moment of reflection, or did Joong-Ki's words hint at lingering feelings? Fans debated endlessly. Some believed this was closure, a respectful and loving blessing from a man who had moved on. Others insisted that the sincerity in his voice revealed a deeper truth, that despite time, distance, and divorce, his heart still carried an unshakable connection to Hye-Kyo. Forums buzzed with theories, with romantics daring to imagine that life might one day bring them together again. But even without speculation, the emotional weight of Joong-Ki's confession cannot be overstated. To understand why it hits so hard, one must remember their history. From their electric chemistry in Descendants of the Sun to their surprise wedding that felt like a national celebration, their love story once defined an era of K-drama romance. When they divorced in 2019, the shock and heartbreak felt collective. Fans never received the closure they craved until now. Joong-Ki's words reopen the chapter not with bitterness, but with grace, vulnerability, and love. For Hye-Kyo, her pregnancy symbolizes a new beginning, a joyous stage in her life that she chose to share despite her guarded nature. For Joong-Ki, it became a moment of reflection, a chance to honor the love they once had and send blessings for her future. And for fans, it was a chance to feel, once again, the magic of a love story that transcended fiction. As days pass, the global impact of this moment continues to unfold. Fans have organized online projects celebrating Hye-Kyo'S pregnancy while simultaneously honoring Joong-Ki's confession. International media outlets have called it one of the most moving celebrity reactions of the decade, dubbing it a real-life K-drama moment. Even those outside the world of Korean entertainment found themselves captivated by the raw humanity of his words. What makes this confession so powerful is that it wasn't about rekindling romance or fueling gossip. It was about love in its truest sense, the kind that changes form but never truly vanishes. Joong-Ki's words reminded the world that sometimes the greatest love stories are not those that end in happily ever after, but those that continue to echo in the heart long after the story is supposed to be over. Song Hye-Kyo'S pregnancy is a celebration of life and new beginnings. Song Joong-Ki's confession has become a timeless reminder that love, even when altered by time and circumstance, can still shine with sincerity and warmth. Together, they have given fans a gift that transcends gossip and touches something deeply human. In the end, perhaps this was not a moment about rekindling the past, but about embracing the present and honoring what was once real. And maybe, just maybe, that is the most beautiful K-drama of all. The days following Song Joong-Ki's heartfelt confession only seemed to intensify the emotional storm that swept across fans and the entertainment world. What began as a single reaction to Song Hye-Kyo'S pregnancy announcement grew into a phenomenon that felt less like celebrity news and more like the revival of a story the world had never truly let go of. Fans who once mourned the end of the Song couple found themselves pulled back into a wave of nostalgia, tears, and renewed fascination. Online platforms brimmed with conversations dissecting every word, every facial expression, and every pause in Joong-Ki's confession. For many, it wasn't just what he said, it was how he said it. The trembling voice, the unguarded vulnerability, and the way he looked down as if memories weighed heavy on his heart painted a picture far beyond words. Some insisted that his reaction was not only about blessing Hye-Kyo'S future, but also about acknowledging the unfinished emotions that linger between them. Others pointed out that his honesty marked the maturity of someone who understood that love takes many shapes, and sometimes the purest form is letting go, while still holding respect. Meanwhile, Hye-Kyo herself has remained gracefully silent since her announcement, allowing the world to speak while she retreats into the private bubble of her new chapter. That silence only adds to the fascination. Fans wonder if she has seen Joong-Ki's confession, if she has heard his words, and if she carries her own quiet reflections about the man she once called her husband. Their story, already etched in K-drama history, now feels like a living narrative unfolding in real time, with fans left hanging on every new development. International news outlets continue to cover the story with breathless fascination, calling it one of the most moving and surprising celebrity reactions of the decade. Editors describe it as a rare moment when a star strips away the polished mask of fame and reveals the rawness of human emotion. Social media remains flooded with montages of their past moments, side-by-side comparisons of Hye-Kyo'S radiant pregnancy glow and Joong-Ki's heartfelt expression, and endless fan theories about what this could mean for both their futures. But what truly makes this continuation of their saga remarkable is the way it resonates far beyond gossip. This isn't just about two celebrities who once shared a marriage. It's about love, loss, memory, and the power of vulnerability. It's about how two people, even after parting ways, can still touch the world with the emotions they stir in each other. Joong-Ki's confession reminded fans of something they had almost forgotten, that even in endings, there can be beauty, and even in silence, there can be truth. Some fans believe that this moment is the closure they had long waited for. Others insist it is the spark of something new. Could Joong-Ki play a role in Hye-Kyo'S journey as a supportive friend, even as she steps into motherhood? Could their bond evolve into something unexpected, something beyond romance but just as powerful? Or could this confession mark the final bow in a story that has gripped hearts for nearly a decade? The answers remain unknown, but the questions keep the fascination alive. What is certain is that the world will not forget this moment anytime soon. The confession has already been etched into the collective memory of fans and observers alike, joining the list of iconic milestones in Korean entertainment history. It reminds us that sometimes the stories that move us most are not the scripted dramas we watch on screen, but the unscripted ones unfolding in real life. And this is where the story becomes more than just headlines. It becomes a shared experience. Fans cry not only because of Joong-Ki's words, but because they see in him the echo of their own heartbreaks, their own bittersweet memories of love lost but never forgotten. They celebrate Hye-Kyo'S pregnancy not only because it's joyous news, but because it represents resilience, growth, and the beginning of a new chapter. Together, their intertwined journeys mirror the complexity of human love, and that is why the world cannot look away. As we continue to follow this unfolding chapter, one truth is clear: love, in all its forms, remains the beating heart of the Song story. Whether this is the closing of a chapter or the beginning of a new one, it has already reignited the passion and fascination of millions. And in the world of K-drama, where stories often leave us longing for more, perhaps this real-life tale is the greatest drama of them all. If you felt the emotions of this story tug at your heart, if you found yourself swept away by Joong-Ki's confession and Hye-Kyo'S radiant new chapter, then you belong with us at Drama Spark. Our channel is where the magic of stories like these never fades, where we dive deep into the twists, turns, and unforgettable emotions of the stars who bring our favorite dramas to life. Subscribe now and be part of the family that celebrates not only the shows but the real lives that inspire them. Don't just watch the drama, live the emotions, share the love, and keep the spark alive with us.